Have you ever stopped for a moment to consider how much money you actually need saved in order to quit your job? Well, today we're going to explore that financial freedom number and steps on how to achieve it. Just to remind everybody, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is for education and informational purposes only. So let's begin. What's my step one? Step one to figure out my financial freedom number. In other words, how much do I need to save up in order to be able to quit my job and never work another day in my life? The first step that I would do is envision what my retirement is actually going to look like. So, what will I be doing? Will I have sold my house? Will I be renting somewhere? Will I even be living in Canada? Will I be volunteering, going to the gym? Will I be traveling? If so, where and how often? What kind of car will I be driving? Yes, we have to get this detailed because we need to know how much money we'll need per month to actually live our dreams and live out our retirement life. So let's say for my ideal life, I still want to live at home. So you've got a bunch of expenses such as mortgage, property taxes, home insurance, etc. Also still need to eat. So every month I'll still have groceries, haircuts, donations to charity, ordering in sometimes, and eating out at restaurants, etc. I may be financing a car and other expenses related to the car, such as insurance, gas, repairs, and then maybe I want to take one local vacation in Ontario, perhaps road trip to Montreal or a quick ride to New York, and then one major vacation per year, perhaps somewhere like Europe or California. If you add that all up, you get $7,000 in my example. So bear with me here. We got a bit more math. So we got $7,000 per month for your ideal life, but maybe you're collecting Canada Pension Plan and old age security at 65 when you retire. So you can subtract $1,500 because that will come from that source. The monthly shortfall ends up being $5,500. When you annualize that, you end up with $66,000 per year that you need. The 4% rule was developed by William Bengen back in 1994, but it still has a place even up to today as a general rule of thumb to help planning for your retirement financial independence number. It's a general guideline for how much you can withdraw from retirement savings each year without running out of money, usually over a period of about 30 years. The idea is that you withdraw 4% of your total retirement savings and then adjust it each year for inflation. So, applying it to our example, we have 66,000. If you divide it by 0.04, we have $1.65 million that you'll need by the time you retire to be able to withdraw $66,000 per year. The 4% rule is just a starting point, and everybody's situation is different. Depending on market conditions, a person's investment strategy, health, lifestyle, and retirement age, it may not be one size fits all. A lot of financial advisors these days have customized software that factors in many different things to customize according to a person's individual needs. Okay, let's start to drive this home. Now that we've determined how much you need at retirement, we need to know for step two where we are currently. How much have you saved up in your RSPs, TFSAs, non registered funds such as mutual funds, GICs, stocks, bonds, etc.? In this example, I have 144,000 saved up in RSPs. TFSAs, I have 56,000, and between stocks, GICs, and mutual funds, I have 150,000 for a grand total of 350,000. So for step three, we just need to determine what the shortfall is. we take the money that we need from step one, subtract the current investments that we have from step two, and we get our shortfall of $1.3 million that we still need to save between now and the time that we retire. Something important to keep in mind about this shortfall is that that would be the shortfall as if you were retiring right now. But let's say we're retiring in about 18 years from now. We say, okay, I'm 42 right now. I want to retire when I'm 60 years old, let's say. So in those 18 years, that $350,000 that you have currently in investments, assuming it compounds annually at 7%, would grow into approximately 1,200,000. So now if we take the original 1.65 million from step 1 and subtract what the value of our investments will be like when we're ready to retire, we get an adjusted shortfall of $450,000. Here's your final important number, so pay attention. If you want to reach that adjusted shortfall of 450,000 based on the same assumptions of 7% compounded annually for 18 years, you'll start having to invest $1,075 per month starting right now.